Monster Milam leads a monster rally. LSU. Oh boy, they got one they needed. Let's talk about it. Locked on LSU. Here we go.
You are Locked On LSU, your daily podcast on the LSU Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Okay, let's get it. It is Locked on LSU, your team every day. I'm your host, Matt Moscona. Thanks so much for making us your first listen. We are free, available wherever you get podcasts, of course, on YouTube as well. So please subscribe. As always, one of the fastest ways to help us grow is by leaving your comments below. So thank you so much for that. LSU Rallies, they beat Alabama 11-6 in game one, a game where the Tigers were lifeless and dead to rights, down 5-1 in the middle of the sixth, and then bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. In a pretty clear moment of desperation, Jay Johnson pinch hits Pearson for Braswell. He actually went to John Pearson, and then when Alabama made the pitching change to bring in another righty, they went to Josh Pearson. Pearson would single. He would go to Ashton Larson against the righty as well. Larson would homer to pull LSU within 5-4. Tigers would pour it on from there. Stephen Milam, a 3-run homer in the seventh, gives LSU a 7-5 lead. Tigers would add on 4 more and hang on after a way too close for comfort ninth inning, 11-6. Y'all, this is one that LSU desperately needed. Not just because you were swept last week at Auburn, but because of how this weekend set up. Remember, we talked about Alabama. Coach Vaughn chose to pitch backwards. So today was a bullpen day for Alabama, and you saw that in the game. Alabama ended up using, Fay started. They went to Heiberger, Morris, Lehman, Blackwood, Ball, and Veazey. They used 7 pitchers in this ball game. Fay gave them everything they wanted, getting them 9 outs. He was really just a starter, an opener that was just going to go get them maybe through the lineup. And he got them 3 innings. And then finally, LSU was able to break through. But the point is, the reason you had to get this one, it was Kade Anderson against a bullpen day, man. Tomorrow is a little bit more of an even matchup. We're going to talk a little bit about the pitching matchup in game 2 here in a little bit when we preview game 2. But then in game 3, of course, they saved their ace Friday night guy for game 3 going against Chase Shores. So, you're in a situation where this was the one that on paper was the easiest one to get, was the one where you're going to be the most heavily favored. So, my goodness, Tigers had to get this one, and they looked dead in the water at the halfway point of this game, beyond the halfway point of this game. But the offense finally kicked it in gear. So, a few things worth keeping in mind here. Jay Johnson, ton of credit, deserves the hat tip for making the decision when he did. He needed to inject life in the offense, and going to get Pearson. You're bringing Pearson in for Braswell. You went and got a lefty naturally. And remember, it was going to be John Pearson. So he was going with another righty. Braswell's from the right side. And they were bringing in the righty, and they were going to go John Pearson there. And then when they went to the bullpen, got the righty, forgive me, say it this way. John Pearson was pinch hitting for Braswell. They go to the bullpen to bring in the righty. And that's when Jay said, "Hey, John, sit down. Josh, grab a bat." So he put in the lefty for the lefty-righty matchup. And, of course, Pearson singles. And then you had another lefty come up with Larson, who pinch hit for Hernandez. And that was a desperate moment. Larson, we haven't seen much at all this year. Hernandez is your starting catcher, your best defensive catcher behind the plate. So you're lifting him in that point to get a left-handed bat in the game. Notice he didn't go Tanner Reeves right there. Went to Ashton Larson, and Larson made him look great, roping the 3-run homer down the line to bring LSU within 5-4. So, yes, Jay pushed the right buttons in that moment. It's also worth noting, though, because a lot of you asked after Tuesday night's game with the lineup shuffle as if that was going to stick. It's also worth noting that the decisions Jay made in the starting lineup didn't work in this ballgame. Notably, starting Ethan Frey. Again, I understand Frey ended up hitting a homer and walked. But remember, you started Frey, a right-hander, against a right-handed starting pitcher. What did Frey do in the first two at-bats against the righty? He struck out. One of them was a miserable strikeout, too, where it was 2-1 in the third inning when you got the run after the ball, the right fielder mishandled the ball, it went over the wall, so it's 2-1. Frey comes up with one out and a runner on third, strikes out, then Jones strikes out. You had a runner on third with one out. With less than 2 outs, you got to put the ball in play. Frey strikes out there, and then Jones struck out right behind him. Point is, they went to the lefty, Frey walked, and then he homered off the lefty. So, I think you've got to see a platoon. I don't know why Jay ever went away from this. It worked. If you're facing a lefty, let Frey DH. If you're facing a righty, let Pearson DH. Like, you saw it play out in this situation in this ball game. Like, I don't know why they ever went away from that part of this. I mean, I've said it all season. I'm sure y'all are sick of hearing me say it by this point, but Jake Brown needs to be your everyday right fielder. If they're throwing a righty, then Pearson DHs. If they're throwing a lefty, Frey DHs. That is your path here. I mean, it seems so obvious. Brown in the game was 1 for 3, had an RBI, walked, scored a run on the weird error play where they threw the ball into center field. He went all the way home on the fielder's choice. But in any event, it worked. It all worked out. Monster swing there, forgive the pun, by Stephen Milam. Massive swing by Ashton Larson. And then you'd add a few more there as well with Brown scoring on the weird fielder's choice and the error. And then Frey homered in the 8th to give you a little insurance. And Brown's sack bunt to score the run was big. And I'll tell you why I think that was big. At that point, it made it 11-5, so it puts you up 6. I think that insurance run is why Jay was okay pulling Evans when he got to 35 pitches. So that sack bunt, again, typically it's 4, right? If you get a 4, when the lead's 4, one swing can still tie the game. When you get beyond 4, one swing can't tie the game. You need more than that. So they were at 5, but we've seen Jay do this before where he'll burn arms up big. Did it against Mississippi State early in the season. Did it against Missouri early in the season. But in that situation, it got the 6. They send Evans back out for the 9th. He gets a quick out on the fly out. Then he goes to Benj, and Benj was a mess. He went hit by pitch, walk, ground out, walk, wild pitch, walk with the bases loaded. It's 11-6. He's out of the game. You got to go get Zach Cowan. And thankfully, Cowan made quick work of that situation. So, as we look forward, and we're going to get to it, Cowan threw only 4 pitches, so that's awesome. Evans threw 35. I don't think you see Evans tomorrow. You certainly could see Evans on Saturday. Benj absolutely could pitch tomorrow, but that complicates things a little bit for the game on Saturday. I'll tell you the other thing. Jay Johnson took a risk. He went to Case and Evans in the 7th when you were down 5-4. So you went to your best bullpen arm while you were trailing. That's unconventional. That's a risk. That's a big risk he took, but it paid off. The offense just kept coming. As we mentioned, Milam would hit the homer. By the way, also in the 7th, that's when Milam hit the homer. So that inning started off where you went single, walk. So Frey singled, Jones walked. The walk for Jared Jones there was one of the craziest borderline pitches not to be called a strike you can imagine. You flat got away with one there. But then a wild pitch at second and third with nobody out. Dickinson fouled out, which was just absolutely. You're sitting there in this moment thinking, are you really going to waste a second and third nobody out opportunity? And Dickinson fouls out, and then Stephen Milam came up, boom, 3-run homer, and all was right with the world. So you got away with one. But I will say also, the other one I charted, as bad as that call was, not ringing up Jones, in the 4th, they rung up Jake Brown on a ball that was low and away and wasn't even remotely close, and that was with a runner on first base and 1 out. So, you wasted a leadoff there. I mean, listen, there's 2 parts of this game, y'all. There's the comeback, which was awesome and fun, and thank God you got it because you needed it. The other part of it is it didn't start so great. In the first inning, You had a leadoff single by Curiel. You went strikeout, stolen base, wild pitch. You got a runner on third base, with less than 2 outs. Jones strikes out, then you get a pop out. You wasted a leadoff single. In the third, you went strikeout, double. By the way, the Curiel double, in the second, I don't know. I guess Brian Lazar's the official scorer. It was in the third when he hit the ball down the right field line and the right fielder fumbled it and then threw it over the wall. They ruled that a single and a 2-base error. That should have been a double and a 2-base error, and the run should have come home. Anyway, that's just me having a problem with the official scoring in the situation. But look, all things considered, Kade Anderson, it's amazing. We've been talking for 10 minutes. I haven't even mentioned Kade Anderson. Look, Kade Anderson struck out 10 and walked none. If you look at that, you're ecstatic about the night he had. But what you're seeing with Kade Anderson, man, is when he misses over the fat part of the plate. Like, for example, we know what guys' issues are when Jacob Myers misses, because Ben McDonald did a really good job in the game tonight explaining the release point with Myers. He's a true 12-6 over-the-top fastball thrower, so when he misses, he tends to miss up. William Schmidt, when he gets in trouble, it's when he's pitching behind in the count and has to throw 95 over the plate, and then good hitters don't miss. When Anderson is awesome, but when his Achilles heel is when he misses over the fat part of the plate. If he's trying to come into a lefty, he misses over the middle. If he's trying to stay away from a righty, he's missing over the middle. And when you miss over the middle to good college hitters, that's what happens. And he gave up 3 jacks tonight. So it was unconventional. It was not how we expected this game to go, but you had to get the win. That's what matters. You snap your 3-game SEC losing streak after being swept at Auburn. You're now 11-5 in the league, split the next 2, and you're right on pace for what we've talked about all season long, which is find a way to get to 20-10 so the postseason runs through Alec Box Stadium. All right, it is Locked on LSU, your team every day. I'm going to grab my very, very quick break. Over 600 people watch, 636 watching live at 10:58 p.m. This is why LSU baseball and LSU baseball fans are awesome. So thank you so much for being with us. If you are watching live, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you're notified whenever we post a new video. I'm going to grab my very quick break. When we come back, I'm getting to your questions and comments. Thanks for being with us. It's Locked on LSU, your team every day. Did you know your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe or sign into Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to play. Dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports College Football 25 to Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and Avowed as easily as you stream your favorite shows. It's gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. With 4K streaming, you can watch more than 1.5 million movies and TV episodes from your favorite subscribed services like Netflix, Prime Video, Disney Plus, Max, and more. So if you want to check it out, head over to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K 2nd Gen, Fire TV Stick 4K Max 1st and 2nd Gen, and Fire TV Cube 3rd Gen. Today's episode is also brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel, y'all. The NBA playoffs, they are here. FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Love how FanDuel makes betting so easy. If you're picking your favorite team, you're diving into player props, it's all there for you, from three-pointers to steals to assists. FanDuel has so many ways to bet on your favorite player props, so don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. That's at FanDuel.com. Okay, let's get to you. We appreciate you for hanging out with us here. LSU beats Alabama 11-6 here in Game 1. The Tigers and Tide will tangle in Game 2 out at Alex Box Stadium Saturday, by the way, or Friday, excuse me. Remember, if you missed it, LSU and Alabama, all 3 games now are going to be on linear television. Game 2 was supposed to be streamed, but now they're all going to be on television. So ESPN2 for Game 2 on Friday. And then SEC Network for Game 3. It'll be Riley Quick going Saturday for Alabama against Anthony Ianson. Quick has a big arm, y'all. Yeah, he can run it up to 99. He'd been out with a blister, however, so we'll see how effective he'll be in this game for Alabama Game 2 as the Tigers go for the series win, hopefully on their way to a sweep. Let's see. Let's get to a couple here. Colin said, Matt, been reading the rule book for the NCAA. Think they messed up the base award in the bottom of the third. Should have been a 2-base award. So again, I think I did explain that for those that missed it. It was a 2-base award. They ruled it a single and a 2-base error. That was in the play in right field when the right fielder from Alabama kind of kicked the ball over the wall. Let's see. Monty Williams said Ashton freaking Larson. What a moment for Larson. You know, he's not had the season certainly that he or I think anybody wanted. I know a lot of people have said get Ashton Larson more playing time so that he doesn't transfer. I think Ethan Frey is probably a great example of someone who has stuck it out. But Larson on the season going into tonight had just 27 at-bats on the entire season. In conference play, the pinch hit at-bat against Auburn he got last week was his first at-bat in SEC play this year, which is stunning to think. But he got a second at-bat today, and he made it in conference play, and he made it count. So good on him. Let's see. Good call going to bench, saving Evans. Robert, exhale. Johnson pushing the right buttons tonight, it seemed. Big hit by Larson. Yeah, listen, I think what we alluded to a bit ago, the decisions he made in the 6th clearly worked, and he needed a spark. And he was going to his bench sitting Braswell. Braswell on the day was Braswell was 1 for 2 with a strikeout. But he was going to the bench for John Pearson there. And when they went to the righty, he went and got Josh Pearson, who singled, and then obviously Larson came up with the homer. So big moment right there. But again, I think the mistake, the guffaw, was shuffling the lineup again the way he did. Frey batting second, knocking Jones down to the 3-hole. Jones was 0 for 3 in the ball game, struck out twice, did walk twice, but again, one of those walks, I think he got pretty lucky on it. So I don't think Jay had the right starting lineup, and was very clear because you were struggling to find that big hit and the breakthrough moment, but definitely in the 6th, pushing the right buttons like he did. Hey, Joe Juba is exciting the word. That's one way to do it for sure. Brian said, might consider playing Larson more often. The problem you have with that, Brian, is who do you bench? I'm with you, and everybody wants to see it. But the problem is, it ain't like football where you can just rotate receivers in, right? Play by play if you wanted to. You can't do it in baseball. So who are you going to sit? You're not sitting Curiel. So he's right now platooning Frey, Larson, Pearson. I'm sorry, Frey, Brown, Pearson. You want to work Larson into that as well? I'm with you. Ashton Larson, huge moment in this ball game. He got a pinch hit at bat at Auburn and didn't come through. Who do you take the? I'm with you. I'm sympathetic. Who do you take the ABs away from? You answer that question. I'm just saying it's not an easy thing to answer. So. How about their coach getting tossed? Well, their coach, by the way, got tossed because of I don't blame him. It was because of the walk to Jones. I mean, it was a pretty objectively awful call. I mean, the fact that held up that was in the 7th, and then Milam hit the homer, and LSU went up 8-5. The coach lost his mind, the first base coach, but I don't blame him. I mean, it was an objectively awful call. They should have rung up Jones. He walked, and it ended up being a 3-run homer that gave LSU the 7-5 lead. Let's see. Alex, thanks for being there. Corey, why does Cowan come in there? Because the bases were loaded. And you're in the heart of their lineup, a home run there, it's a 1-run game. You didn't need to make it any more interesting. Who are you going to go get? You going to go get someone else who's going to maybe walk hitters? I mean, I'm trying to think who was coming up right there because they walked LeBron, didn't they? Forgive me. They walked LeBron. Then that's right. They walked Snell. Snell, who had homered twice, he walked, and that's where the run came home. So you had Bonamolo coming up in that situation. I mean, so forgive me. Sorry, y'all. Be patient with me here. So Richie Bonamolo was a righty, so you could have gone. Yeah, I mean, you were going to go righty there, so you weren't going. You weren't going Connor Ware there. You weren't going DJ Primo there. You weren't going Cooper Williams. So who do you want to go get? Do you want to go get Maverick Rizzi? Actually, I don't even know that Rizzi's available after the heavy workload he had on Tuesday 2 nights ago. So Rizzi wasn't available. So what righties in that situation are available that you go to? Maybe you go get William Schmidt. But the point is, in that situation, who do you trust to go get an out? I mean, Connor Ware had to stamp out the fire. So as much as you hate to see it, I think it was the right thing to do, but he only threw 4 pitches. If you need Ware to come back tomorrow, he can absolutely come back tomorrow and go. But Cowan, I said Ware, excuse me, Cowan. You could absolutely go to him there. Abner, what's going on? Ryan, Connor Benj almost ruined my night. That's the disappointing thing, man, because Benj has actually been really good for you this year. But in that situation, Benj in the 9th with 1 out, all you got to do is get 2 outs, and you're looking at the bottom of the lineup, and he goes hit by pitch, walk, ground out, walk, wild pitch, walk. I mean, that was wild pitch and 1, 2, 3 walk. Hit by pitch, 3 walks, and a wild pitch. I mean, that's some Ricky Vaughn stuff there in the top of the 9th by Connor Benj. Let's see. Charleston Maestro, tough early roster moves paid off. You think we'll see Schmidt this weekend? I mean, I listen, it's all circumstance and situational. Do you need a right-handed reliever that can give you some length? If you do, then yeah, I think we see Schmidt. But I can throw out a hypothetical where, okay, Ianson pitches tomorrow, and then after Ianson, if you want to go with a lefty, then Connor Ware's there, and Cowan could still come back and finish the game. And then you've got Shores on Sunday. I mean, I would assume that because I don't think you burned Evans tonight, but 35 pitches, you're certainly not using him tomorrow, but you could bring him back on Saturday if you needed him in game 3. I think William Schmidt is going to be in the top 3 arms in the pen remaining that you would see. Now, again, it depends on situational awareness. Like maybe you need a situational lefty, so you see DJ Primo or Cooper Williams. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to someone to give you a little length, I think Schmidt would probably be that guy at this point. Jonah, I like securing the win with Evans and Cowan. Even better, that both will be available for another game. Yeah, Cowan could certainly pitch tomorrow. I don't think you'd see Evans again until Saturday. Rex, Wild Child, we appreciate all y'all for hanging out, man. Thanks so much for being here. Brant, still, yeah, I mean, not only for Saturday's game, you have your top relievers you have Cowan for tomorrow, for Friday, for certain, in game 2. Janet, sad about gymnastics. Me too, Janet. I was watching them both. Y'all know I'm a gymnastics fan, and I was bummed to see it. So the gymnastics season ended tonight. 8-ball rolling. What's going on? Yellow Jacket, much needed. Loved seeing Jay pull Evans when we will need him again. Honestly, when they went up 6, I was surprised Evans went out there for the 9th. And he ended up throwing, he faced one batter. Forgive me, I'll tell you how many pitches he threw in the 9th if you give me 1 second. So he threw 3 pitches. It was an 0-2 fastball, and he got him a fly out. So he threw 3 pitches in the 9th. So he was at 32, faced the one hitter. And then you were there at the bottom of the order because he went Stanton, Neal, Norton, Fowler, LeBron. So Stanton was the first that he faced. So you were facing you were facing 7, 8, 9. So Evans goes and gets the 7-hole hitter to fly out. You had 8 and 9 coming up. And so you get Benj and you're thinking, man, just go get 2 outs. And he just couldn't do it. When hit by pitch, walk. He hit the 8-hole hitter, walked the 9-hole hitter, got the leadoff guy to ground out. Then he walked LeBron, walked Snell, which was walking in the run, and that's when he went and got Cowan, which was the right decision to make at that moment. All right, appreciate y'all for being here with us. Please smash that like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel. If you're listening or watching on demand, we appreciate y'all. Yeah, that's true, Logan. Jay was ticked. He walked out to the mound, took the ball from Benj, and was like, "Get out of here." He normally the LSU pitchers, when they're being pulled, will stay on the mound and hand the ball to the reliever coming in. He basically told him, "Get out of here. Go to the dugout right now." Lazy B Hay Farm. Let's see. I thought Kade was gonna hang curves till they proved they couldn't hit him. Thank God our bats came alive, and Evans is so solid. Let's see. Ben McDonald always got to flex his outdoor knowledge. Yeah, they were talking about moons and different stuff tonight. Rocky, glad we won. It's ridiculous. Benj couldn't get 2 outs. Tough watching these guys unable to throw balls across the plate. I mean, the crazy thing, though, Rocky, is last weekend, the last 2 weeks, the bullpen's been really good. And Benj was part of that, y'all. Benj has kind of emerged as one of the, I mean, that's why they went to him. He's emerged as one of the guys that they actually trust. So, look, Benj went out there and threw 2/3 of an inning against McNeese. He had a strikeout and allowed a base hit. Threw an inning of relief in the 4-2 loss against Auburn, faced the minimum. He went an inning in the third against Nichols with 2 strikeouts, faced the minimum. Against Louisiana Tech, came in a tough situation with 2 outs, got the 1 out to get you out of the inning. He allowed a run in each of his outings against Mississippi State. I guess my point is, like, his last 4 outings have been really good. I mean, the last time Benj walked somebody, let's see. Benj hadn't walked a guy, anybody since the 17-8, the run rule win against Mississippi State. He pitched an inning and walked a guy, struck out a guy, and allowed 1 hit. I mean, it's been 4 outings since he walked anybody. 14 strikeouts, 10 walks on the season coming into this game. But yeah, I mean, it was uncomfortable, no doubt. Okay. Let's see. Not a bad outing from Kade behind the plate. Definitely seems like he's improved. Talking about Aaron Beatty, yes. I mean, look, they pinch hit. I mean, they pulled Hernandez to get a left-handed bat in there with Larson. You know what else is telling about that, y'all? They went to Larson instead of Reeves in that situation. They wanted a left-handed bat. He went to Larson. Now, Reeves came in later because they had pinch hit Pearson for Braswell. And so Braswell came out, so Reeves went to third. But in that situation, when they went to the lefty, pulling Hernandez, they went to Larson and not Reeves. So maybe that's something you start to see, is that if you need a left-handed bat coming off the bench, that maybe it's Larson. That's maybe his role at this point. Jeremy, Irfan, Noah, thanks for being there, man. Appreciate everybody for hanging out with us. Pete Hemail, lifeless is what LSU has been since sweeping OU, no emotions. I think that was largely the case last week against Auburn. And they got a pretty nice win against McNeese, against the top 30 RPI team. But through the first, 5.5 innings of this ball game, you're right. Michael Sterling said the ump was atrocious. He needs to be sanctioned. Just college umpires, man. They're all bad at their job. Manny, 10 strikeouts by Tigers after 5. Worrisome. Jones is striking on fastballs. High ones at that. Yeah. For an LSU team that strikes out the least in the Southeastern Conference, I think they had 11 strikeouts tonight. I'm looking at the box score. Let's see. Yeah, 11 strikeouts. They walked 4 times. That's too many. And Frey struck out twice. Jones struck out twice. That's your 2 and 3 hole hitters. I mean, those are guys that you're expecting to be your run producers with your table setter ahead of them. And it just didn't work out that way in this ball game. So I'm with you. As far as Frey, I understand Jay has a lot of faith and trust and confidence in Ethan Frey. And he's got a role. But what we've started to see now in the past couple of weeks is they're still DHing Frey against righties, and that's not going great. I mean, we have seen Ethan Frey, his average. I'm not just knocking Ethan Frey. We're just having the conversation here. Ethan Frey's average in league play. Let's see. This is not going to be updated from today, so forgive me if I'm not going to be able to do the math. But it's in the low 220s. I'm trying to find it. Hang on one second, y'all. My apologies. Here it is. So Ethan Frey's at 222. Coming into today, 222 in league play with 10 strikeouts and 36 at-bats. So against conference pitching, he's hitting 222 and he strikes out about 1 every 3 at-bats. So I think you got to go to a platoon situation again. Let Frey be your DH when you're facing a lefty. And let Pearson DH when you're facing a righty to get another left-handed bat in the lineup. So Tigers had a great opportunity in game 2 on Friday. Like I said, you're going to face a really good arm on Saturday. I keep saying Saturday, sorry, in game 2. You're going to face a really good arm in game 2. In Riley Quick. So I'll be very interested to see what Jay elects to do here, because Quick is a righty. And my thought is, with the way Pearson and Larson both came through in this game for you, that you probably load up with lefties. So now what do you do at third? Do you put Reeves at third to get another left-handed bat in the lineup? Is Pearson in right? Is Brown in right? You DH Pearson. Does Pearson go to right? You DH Ashton Larson, sort of as a reward. We'll see. But again, you're facing Riley Quick, who's a righty who throws 99. And what Jay elects to do there in game 2 is going to be interesting to see. Okay, maybe 1 or 2 more. Triple D says give Larson the start at DH. If you start Larson at DH, then I want Brown and right, and then you're sitting Pearson. And I'd be okay with that if you wanted to do it and give him an opportunity to go hit. But it's one of those where I'm okay if you want to try to reward him for the big moment in this game, or if you want to wait and give him a midweek start, you could certainly do that. Let's see. Thank you so much. This is right. I'm sorry. This is right. The coach got tossed because when they run, because that's it. It wasn't the walk. It was when, that's what it was. It wasn't the walk. That's right. It was when, here it was. It was in the top of the 7th. It was when Kason Evans struck out LeBron to end the 7th. That's what it was. Thank you for the clarification. You're right. Thank you for the clarification. I had my note wrong. Because they kind of happened back to back. Because LeBron struck out the end of the top of the 7th, and Jones walked, and so it was kind of like. And I put a big exclamation point on my notes right there because of the Jared Jones walk, because it came just after the LeBron strikeout on the borderline pitch. So LeBron gets rung up on a. Which I thought was a good pitch. I didn't think it was an egregious call. The Jones call was egregious. But yes, thank you so much for that. That's absolutely right. You would think Justin LeBron would get that call, wouldn't you? But the thing I wrote in my notes is, you say what you want about the ump, and the LeBron call was borderline, but it's probably a ball. But in the bottom of the 4th, with a man on and 1 out, they rung up Jake Brown on a brutal call when Brown was halfway down to first base. It was a terrible called strike 3 in the bottom of the 4th. So you would have, in that situation, had 2 on with 1 out. And oh, by the way, the next hitter singled. So that would have been a run scoring situation where you would have tied the ball game. So in any event, sometimes those things over the course of a 9-inning game work out. But hat tip to the coach, the first base coach, for getting his money's worth. Like, if you're gonna get tossed, at least get your money's worth. Like, don't just like get tossed and then just sheepishly walk back to the dugout. I remember Nolan Cain did that once at LSU, and I was like, Nolan, if you're gonna get run, get your money's worth, man. Kick some dirt on the guy, get in his face, spin a little bit. But the first base coach from Alabama got his money's worth, so good for him. Okay, y'all. How about Davidson? We talk about Myers having a better outing. That's a couple in a row now for Myers, and I loved when Myers came in at the end of the. Myers came in the. Where's my note? Myers came in the top of the sixth with 2 outs and got the strikeout. And it was a called strike 3 too on an off-speed pitch, nonetheless. But I loved that. That was, did I have that right? The 6th? Yeah, it was I'm on the wrong ending. I'm looking at the 9th. That's why. Top of the 6th, yeah. So after Snell homered, Bonamolo homered, and then Hodo doubled. So they went homer, double. They go get Myers, and he gets the strikeout swinging on the breaking ball, which was awesome to see. So, and throwing the breaking ball for a strike, too. After he got down 0-2, he threw a breaking ball for a strike, and the guy swung right through it. So, yes, Jacob Myers has big league stuff. Like, that's undeniable. He's just got to command it. The walks are a problem. He led the country in walks last year. We know it, man. If he throws the ball over the plate, he's really, really good. But against McNeese, he threw an inning, faced 1 over the minimum. He allowed a little blue pit into left, but struck out 2. Against Auburn, he threw an inning, struck out 2, faced the minimum. Against Louisiana Tech, he had trouble against Tech. He went a third of an inning and walked 2 of the 3 batters he faced and gave up a hit. No, I'm sorry. He walked 2 of the 3 batters he faced, but was responsible. One of those runs came around. Against Texas, didn't record an out, so I'm working backwards. Against UNO, struck out 4, walked 1 in an inning and 2/3. So it's been like he'll have a couple of really good outings and then a couple of not so great outings. But he's been good now for 3 consecutive outings, and that's really encouraging because he's got great stuff. Okay, y'all. Let's get out of here. Y'all have an awesome night. Maybe one more. Brad, if Shores has another rocky start, you think Jay may turn to another arm for Sunday starting role late in the season? Who? And I know you're going to say Cowan or Evans, but look how valuable Cowan and Evans were tonight. I mean, who would you have gone to without those guys? You rely on them so much in the bullpen. Who? If you pull Shores, who? Who are you starting? Please give me that name. Like, maybe by the end of the season, we could have that conversation about Connor Ware or William Schmidt. But, or if more bullpen arms develop, then maybe you could talk about moving someone like Cowan back to the rotation. But who? And by the way, my contention on Shores, and I'm going to continue to say this, y'all, and I'm going to say it because I want to be on the record when I think this is going to happen. I think Chase Shores is trending the same way that Ty Floyd did 2 years ago. Ty Floyd, y'all, there's a lot of LSU fans, some of y'all know who you were, who wanted Ty Floyd pulled, didn't want him in the rotation. He was inconsistent, and he kept gaining more and more stability, and by the end of the season, pitched himself to being a back first-round pick. Chase Shores did not pitch for 2 years. 2 years he didn't face live hitters. 2 years. Like, let him come on. I think Chase Shores wasn't bad last weekend. He had some bad baseball fortune. I don't think it's been bad for Shores. Like, the line last week wasn't great, but he's not throwing badly. And you can tell he is gaining more command of his slider. That's just going to keep getting better. So I think by the end of this season, Chase Shores is going to be really good. And we're going to go, man, Remember at the beginning of the season how he struggled? Kind of like with Thatcher Hurd in 2023 as well. Coming off the back injury. It was a process. But by Omaha, man, he was nails. Be patient with Chase Shores. I think he's going to be really good by the end of the season. Okay, let's get out of here. Thanks so much for being here with us. Thanks for making us your first listen. For your second listen, you can go check out Locked On NFL Draft right now as well. Be the smartest in your friend group when it comes to the draft. Hey, if you are listening on podcast, please subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Rate us, leave a review. If you're on YouTube, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you're notified whenever we post a new video, and let a friend know. If they love the Tigers, we got you every single day for Locked On LSU, your team every day.